Hey everyone, just wanted to give you a quick heads up. The second Global Product Owner Summit is coming soon. You can get all the details at bit.ly/Product Owner 2024. That's bit.ly/Product Owner 2024. And it's all lowercase, all one word. Oh, and stick with us until the end of the episode to know the dates and the tracks that we have for you in this year's summit. But for now, let's dive into today's episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome to one more week of the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast. And this week, joining us from Canada is Joe Scherler. Hey, Joe. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Vasco. Thank you for having me.
So, Joe, did I mispronounce your last name there? How do you pronounce it properly?
My proper pronunciation would be Scherler, which is pretty close what you did. I'm originally from Finland.
All right. So having experienced Scrum and Agile in various roles, Joe's self-described mission is to unlock the hidden potential of teams and those who work with them to create a work environment that is as enjoyable as it is effective. And he loves working on both soft and hard skills with the teams that he works with. Joe, there's a short intro. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and how did you end up becoming a Scrum Master?
Yeah, so I was a developer. I was a system engineer. I was a QA lead, and I was a manager. I'm a manager in remission, actually.
A manager in remission. I like that.
And I got to know Scrum in 2008. We failed miserably. Then we started again in 2010. And that time around, it was a success. And ever since, I was in love with the way that Agile works. And I was working in an organization that was not unleashing all the potential because there was a scaling framework in place at some point, and I always thought there was more, but that ultimately led to my change and change in organization.
And we come to this role from many different backgrounds, including managements in remission or like myself, project managers or recovering project managers, as I like to call myself, and all kinds of experience backgrounds, development, testing, etc. But we all go through difficult moments in this career of learning what it is to be a great Scrum Master. So, Joe, share one of those stories with us, a story of a moment where it was hard and maybe you did your best, but at that time, as it so often happens, the best just wasn't good enough. We'll dive into the lessons learned and the takeaways later, but first, walk us through that story.
Yeah, so I was working for an organization that got acquired by a company that had a lot more funds, that was more successful. And that company had grown so fast that a lot of their leaders had been promoted to that position because they were good in their previous position. And that led to a climate that was quite difficult to live in. So it was really.
Can you describe what that means in practice or what it meant for you?
Yeah. So that was a culture of fear with a lot of gossip. We were in a fully remote world, and I observed like violent communication between people who were working in the same co-working space. And that was difficult to work for me because I could not intervene in the ways that I would have been used to.
And so I'm guessing you were working with a team, and that was the environment, right? Kind of, a hard environment with people that were maybe promoted beyond their level of competence. That's not what you said, but that's what I understood.
Yeah, absolutely.
Walk us through what happened next.
So at some point, I had the task to facilitate a workshop with those chapter or technical leads, and I had absolutely no productive support from their manager, but only a list of demands of what has to happen. So I was basically turned into a servant for that leader who would have to tell his team how they have to work. And
Did you
that went
get the
against
feeling that
every
that's
grain.
how they looked at you, like a servant to do whatever their bidding was?
I would say the team themselves probably didn't. They expected me to solve for them. And at the same time, they were so fearful of their leader because the leader would always interfere and revert decisions or course correct them without being clear about to what extent they can decide. So there was a lot of tension there. And that resulted in having those expectations from the team to fix something that's not voiced versus having the expectation from the leader that I just implement his way of working
So you
with the
were in the
team.
middle of
Yeah.
opposing expectations.
Yes, absolutely.
How did you handle that?
Well, not well. Not well. It definitely was a problem, turned into a problem for my health, for my mental well-being, because I know how good collaboration can look like. I know what I can do when I have the access to people to have the conversation. And it was ultimately a really tough lesson that the impact that you can have as a Scrum Master really ends with the lowest ranking person that does not want to change their behavior.
Can you explain that a little bit more?
Um, so when you look at an organization that has a hierarchy, and that's probably the reality for most organizations, when you're working at a team and maybe multiple teams level, if you're trying to create change for that organization, you basically have that blocking person who does not want to change, and you will not be able to create change further than that person's influence sphere.
So you mean, like in this case, you're saying that you could perhaps create some change within the team, but you couldn't change that manager, and that manager already had told you what needed to happen and didn't, of course, want to hear anything different, I guess.
Yes, that's correct. And that ultimately makes the change in the team not sustainable. Because it's just temporary until that manager comes back in again and reverses course.
So let's imagine that you had a time machine and you could go all the way back to that point in time and relive the story. How would you go through that today, Joe?
Today, I would go in and probably insist more. Insist is maybe the wrong term for that, but try harder to have a deeper conversation with that manager and really get to the bottom of what they want to achieve in terms of business outcomes. That was my learning from that. It was all focused on the process for the manager, and I fell into the trap to start talking that same language.
Yeah, that's a very powerful statement. I fell into the trap of speaking that same language, right? Like,
No.
not getting out of the do what I tell you box, but walk right into it even.
Mm-hmm.
And for Scrum Masters, our friend Luke out there that might be just facing this same situation right now, what kind of tips do you have for them to start that deeper conversation with that manager that may, and perhaps even implicitly without thinking much about it, want them to do something instead of work with them together to help the team?
I would actually go a step back before going into that conversation with that manager. Um, I would, when feeling that there's a bigger change coming, get a coach and have a coach through that change. myself as a Scrum Master, because I think it's important for a Scrum Master not to lose the north of what Agile is, and still to be able to hold that space and truly listen to that other person as to what they need. Yeah, and the second would be really starting to get into conversations about business outcomes, and then once those business outcomes are clearer, start talking about, okay, what change do we want to see first, and now let's figure out what practices do you need and does your team need so that these outcomes can happen.
I really like that approach of going through from the business outcomes perspective rather than the list of tasks or changes to the process that the manager might want you to go through.
Yeah.
Great story. Thank you for sharing that, Joe.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hi there, Agile friends. Thank you for sticking around and listening to the details of the Product Owner Summit, this year's global summit dedicated to a critical Scrum role, the product owner role, of course. We'll have some amazing keynotes and 4 tracks filled with first-hand stories and experiences for product owners to learn more about that critical Scrum role. The summit will take place between April 23rd and 25th, so book your calendars. There will be loads of sessions for you to attend. One of the keynotes will be Dave West, the product owner and CEO at Scrum.org, one of the largest Scrum organizations in the world. If you want to know more, check out the details at bit.ly/product owner 2024. That's all one word, all lowercase, bit.ly/product owner 2024. We will also have 4 tracks. The 4 tracks will cover cross-functional product ownership. That's track 1. As Pixar's Ratatouille said, not every idea can be a great idea, but a great idea can come from anywhere. And this quote emphasizes the importance of a product owner being open to all ideas, regardless of the source, and also challenges us to focus on getting good ideas from everywhere and involving the whole team in the product owner role and responsibilities. The second track is Designing Products for Growth, where we explore how to craft products ready for scalable growth, merging practical strategies with innovation. The idea here is to learn to design products for growth, whether it is sales or customer acquisition. The third track is Know Your Users, user-centric approaches for Agile development. In this track, we learn to master user-centric techniques in Agile development, to deeply understand customer needs and transform insights into meaningful UX designs that focus on engagement and satisfaction. This is a track ideal for innovation-focused Agile teams. And the fourth track, one of the most exciting tracks in my opinion, is product development with AI, ideas for product owners. Not only do we discuss about using AI in the products, but also AI for product owners to learn to make a bigger impact with the help of the AI tools that we already have. The Product Owner Summit will also present to you great opportunities to network with your peers. So get your ticket and join our Slack. You can get the ticket and join the Slack at bit.ly/product owner 2024. As always, we have free tickets and also the paid tickets that help to support this podcast. So check them out at bit.ly/product owner 2024. That's all lowercase, all one word, product owner 2024. I'll see you in the summit floor.